Hello, Gun Nation. It says we are live. Hope y'all are all doing well this evening. We have got, I've been saying hi to everybody. We've got Ranger 10 in the house, William Bader. Let's see here. Let's go through these real quick. Rich B's in the house. Dirt Track. He's saying, been buying ammo, reloading supplies, and suppressors big time lately. Last two individual finalists came back from ATF in 4 days. One following prior to that was 12 days. Damn, that's awesome, man. And then Rich B says, I've been wanting to get a suppressor. I've been shopping around, so it sounds like now is the time to do it with no hesitation. I would agree with that. I've got some buddies who have had them coming back quick, too. One guy's was 3 days, and then one guy's was like 7 or 8 days, I think is what he told me. So that's really good, Rich, that that Dirt Track, you've gotten them back that quick. And cheers, everyone. We've got some Buffalo Trace. So first drink of the evening. I've been waiting. This has been sitting in front of me. I've been waiting. So cheers, everyone. That's a good drink. I'm wondering if the fast turnaround is an election play by the Dems. Who knows? I mean, it's actually been, I guess they've been doing that for, a couple of months now? Hello, Lake Ozark guy. How are you? Unit 4 is in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. I don't know if y'all had a chance to look at the last video that I had came out as far as a new company I'm working with and a item I'm going to be trying. So if you have, put down in the let's see which one can guess it first or knows the answer to it. What's the newest pistol that I have in the stable? Hello, John. How are you? See who guesses it first or who knows it first without having to go back and look in the library. But it is a new company I'm working with, so yep, Dirt Track got it. Shadow System. Yep, 920 XP. Hello, William Carter. They're only like 40 minutes from my house, so they're really close. And y'all know, I mean, I do love to support Texas companies. I'm born and raised Texan, so definitely love to support Texas companies, and I have seen them and played around with them and stuff like that, but I've never owned one or, kind of shot one. So, and this one was very intriguing to me because with the comp and everything, a lot of the smaller pistols I can't get my hand on, and this one actually felt pretty good. So I was really surprised how well it did fit on my hand. Now I'm not saying it's perfect. Okay, I would like a little more grip, but it's not hanging off, which is a good thing. I did already order more mags. I've gotten them in. So, because I figured, as much as I'm going to be shooting it, many rounds as I'm going to be putting through it, I don't want to be loading 2 mags. So I bought the other mags. I mean, I've invested money in this. Got a dot. I've got 2 other items on the way. One's going to be here Friday, and the other one I think is probably about a week out. Yeah, Rich B is saying Shadow System surprised me a little bit, but will be fun to follow you working on it. Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. A lot of people were actually surprised by it. You're not the first person to say that. But like I said, I've heard really good things about them. I do have friends that have them, and they've always enjoyed them. So I thought, and me kind of being an anti-slim guy, I was like, I could see a reason for having it. And with some of the things that I'm doing now, even more so, and the items I'm wearing more so, suits, really nice clothes, tucked in, all that good stuff. I'm probably kind of needing a little bit slimmer one. And that's why I've been thinking about this for probably about 3 or 4 months now. And just thinking, well, of course, there's one brand I won't ever get. I think y'all know what that brand is. I'm not trying to be a hater or anything. It's just a preference or an opinion, but a based opinion on my part. So there's other ones out there, but I was like, this could be a really good option. So I'm excited about shooting it. I will be shooting it this weekend. I've already got the ammo out and everything, so I'm going to be putting about 200 to 250 rounds through it for sure at one time. So, I mean, it's going to be loading up all these mags, shooting them, loading up all these mags, shooting them. So, and I'm going to try to record all of it so y'all can see the good and the bad. I'm not going to cut anything out. I've heard some issues, Pistol Pete. Hey, Pistol Pete, I wanted to ask you a question. Well, hang on, let me catch back up here real quick. Sorry. No, I have not put it out yet, Dennis. I haven't put it out. I put one video out just talking about, the pistol, but I haven't shot it. So there you go. Unit 4 says, Wisconsin guy here with a Texas soul one day. Yeah, and I've been to Wisconsin many times. A lot of people don't know that, but I've been there a bunch. A company I used to work for was based out of there. John has an MR920. Dennis has an MR920. Pistol Pete, I wanted to ask you, do you have a YouTube channel? Have you done live chats? Armsman was telling me that there's a guy named Pistol Pete, and he is doing a live chat. And if so, post your link up in here, Pistol Pete, if that's you. If you're doing videos and stuff like that now, because I definitely want to check out your channel. So if that's you, if you're not, then I guess it's a different Pistol Pete. Hello, Armsman. How are you? Sig Sauer to hell and back reliability. Yeah, not for me. Yeah, Armsman's giving me shit saying I need a SIG P226X5. I've owned a 226. Hello, Floridian. How are you? You're stuck until San Antonio until Saturday now that the hurricane is affecting the Jackson area. Yep, I know. And everybody, especially like Armsman and a bunch of other people out there in Florida, y'all be safe, man. I texted him to check on him today just to make sure everything's good. Hawaiian Volcano Squad is saying I've been having arthritis hand problems lately, could affect my weapon handling in an emergency. Yep, welcome. I totally understand what you're talking about, sir. I've had arthritis since I was 30. It's not fun. I do take medication for it. Definitely makes it better, but not perfect. So, yeah, and I'll tell you, this slide on this little CR920, it's a tight little sucker. I mean, I can rack it, but it's a tight little sucker. Let's see, Rich B is saying the new CZP09C Nocturne that I just picked up has one of the worst owner's manuals I've ever seen. Being brand new to this platform, it's totally worthless to me. It'll be time to hit YouTube. Yeah, the owner's manuals aren't that great. The older CZs used to be. Hello, Norwood. How are you? Channel Cat Chaser. What's up, man? Appreciate you. Oh, look at that. Look at that. My brother. Lee Johnson Guns and Gear Rocks. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Uh-oh. Okay, so it's not this Pistol Pete. All right. Sounds like an imposter. Okay. Because Armstrong was telling me, hey, does Pistol Pete have a channel? I said, I don't think so. But I didn't know. I think I have enough liquor for the hurricane, and y'all be safe. I have been through one. It was way, way back when. It was like Rockport or the Rockport area. Or no, not Rockport. Crap, where is it? We used to go there every summer when I was in high school and stuff for spring break. Galveston. I can't even think of the damn thing now. Springfield, Polly Wonder with a comp. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad gun. I just don't have any reason to have the Echelon. But I mean, it could be a great option for a lot of people. I've heard really good things about the gun. A lot of people like it. Oh, I think the malfunction on this was having might be the optic screws. Yeah, if they're too long, could be jamming up the extractor. I have heard of that before with CZ. Let's see here. Rich B says, so this is a new BCZ question. Is that decocker 100% safe to use? Yes, it is. Yep. Do not fret it. It's totally safe. Yes, sir. Hello, Pranic. How are you, brother? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, don't ever worry about the decockers on a CZ. They are good to go. Yeah, there's some good whiskey. It's been a while since I've had some whiskey. I was going to ask y'all another thing, and I want, y'all can just answer yes, no, not a problem, don't like it, whatever. But what are y'all, or any of y'all afraid, or I don't want to say afraid, who likes public speaking? Like giving seminars, performing training. Do y'all like that? Do you not like it? Do you like public speaking? Do you not like public speaking? Just curious. Just say, yes, I do. No, I don't. Whatever. Really curious about that. What about the decocker on a Colt Python? Yeah, they have them. They have the decocker when you take them and throw them in the trash. Just joking. Hello, Russell Young. How are you? Rich B says he did it for years. Like Ozark guy says, don't like it. Dennis says, no, I don't like it. I tell Dirt Track says I tell libs off in public. Yes, I do. Have done a few. I'm an introvert. No public speaking for me. I don't mind it. No to public speaking. I get it. I don't like people. I like fixing things in the corner. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I really enjoy public speaking. I've always been a speaker, or whatever you want to say it. Joking around, stuff like that in crowds. It's never bothered me. I've got a really big presentation I'm doing next week. It'll be probably 100, 150 people. And, I've told some of my friends, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got a really big deal I'm doing next week. And they're like, man, how do you do that? God, I can't do that. That bugs me. And I'm like, really? And I was just curious. Not saying it's good or bad. I just know some people don't like it. Some people don't. It doesn't bother them. It's never bothered me. But, I was just curious. William has a good point here. It says it doesn't bother me if I'm comfortable and knowledgeable about the topic. Yeah. Oh, Abigail, look at this. The P320 has a decocker. Just appendix create and fall forward. There you go. What's up, G23? How are you, man? Public speaking takes getting used to get past the nerves. At least it was for me. I've never really had a problem with it. So, like I said, some people just don't like it. I could talk about, I could just stand up in front of people and just talk about anything. I don't have to be that knowledgeable in it. Not to BS them. I'm not saying that, but just, like if somebody said, hey, stand up here and tell us about yourself. And I didn't know these people. I could do it. But of course I know myself. But I've always been a talker. So never really bothered me. Armsman said he's got 6 P320s, no issue. I found if I could give a presentation and walk around the room or stage, it helps. Yeah, y'all probably know this maybe from videos and stuff, but I like to move my hands. I'm kind of an expression talker, I guess. If I had to just stand there and hold my hands, and I could still do it, but I'm a talker. I like to move my hands. A lot of people are like, are you Italian? I'm like, no, I'm not, because I'm always moving my hands around. Yep, no, I agree. There are all types of people, each with their own assets. I totally agree with that. Channel Cat Chaser says, I've done many fishing tournaments and talked to kids in schools. I definitely have the gift of gab. Yeah, that's kind of me too. Yeah, but Abigail wins that comment deal right there. But anyway, so I've got a big presentation I'm doing next week, so I've been putting everything together for it. And that's another thing. I'll be up there probably for about an hour and a half to 2 hours talking. I got a PowerPoint, but honestly, I kind of dislike PowerPoints personally. I have one, but I'm more of a work the crowd person, Q&A kind of person. I'm not like, hey, let's sit here and read this PowerPoint. I mean, of course, I'll be going through it. It's just not, I'm not a huge PowerPoint person. In my previous job, I had to conduct group training and presentations. Don't mind it, but glad it's over with. Yeah. Am I disappointed? I haven't personally shot it, but I mean, I know people who have it, and I've heard from them, and they haven't had any of the issues that Honest did. So I'm wondering if it is, maybe like the screws or, the optic screws or something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe messing with the extractor or something. I don't know. And again, you can get a lemon sometimes with anything. So, but yeah, the trigger on the PO7 and PO9s, and I'm assuming, I know it's the exact same as the Nocturne, it's not a fantastic trigger. It's more of a duty style trigger. It's not, now you can put Cajun Gunworks kit in it and make it a little bit better, but it won't ever be as good as like a steel CZ. It just won't. So, but I think the gun has a lot of good. For people who are double action, single action curious, I think it's a great option to get into that gun personally. Let's see here. Armsman saying no issues with my Nocturne, only put 100 rounds through it though. Well, I mean, that's good. Humble had a great review of the PO9. Yep, I knew that he was getting one. Matter of fact, I shot him a thing when they first came out, and he ordered it, and then like 2 days later, I saw it was like $20 cheaper. But yeah, he ordered, I think, like when they were first released, I shot him that thing and he ordered it. Is anyone else disappointed with the TLR1 HLX? 500 more lumens, but the same candela with their rechargeable batteries and 5,000 less with the standard CR123. Yes, it is kind of different. I thought it would have more candela. I put in a request for one today because I really like the TLR1 HL. I always have. It's been a fantastic light. The only thing, and I've said this numerous times, if y'all probably all know this, but I prefer the buttons on like the PO9, not PO9, the TLR9, the TLR7. I like those kind of buttons, and they went to those on the new TLR1. So I think that's a really good option. And also not having to remove the light to put batteries in it. You can just pop the front open now. So I think that's kind of cool. And I'm really hoping it has the same footprint, so you don't have to change your holsters. And it looks like it does. So, I mean, I think it's a good option, but it's not a turbo, Surefire or anything like that. And I was expecting more candela. So I was just like, man, but, it is what it is. So, I mean, I think it's going to be cool, but I guess we'll see. And I don't know if they're going to send me one to test out. I did request one, but we'll see. And I do like that it has the dual, the dual, like being able to accept regular batteries. The CR123s are the rechargeables. I think that's a good option. A lot of the X series or all the X series do that now. So I think that's cool in case, because I mean, I have tons of CR123s, but if you could just keep them charged and know that everything's good to go, I mean, that's never a bad thing either. Abigail says, I think it's going to be a bit longer than the TLR1 HL. Yeah, and it might be. That's what I'm saying. They didn't really say anything like fits regular holster. They didn't say that, but that's one of the things I wanted to test. So hopefully they'll send me one when they first, kick those out. But we'll see. Not going to die if I don't get one, but I thought they looked kind of cool, worth testing and seeing what I think about it. My only concern also, and this is just something I was thinking about, since it has the hinge in the front, like if you were banging the light on something, like using it for like to rest it up against something to shoot off of, or you're really banging it. I hope it doesn't break that hinge or potentially have an issue with that hinge. Not saying it would, but if I get mine, my plan was to have it on the gun and just smack the hell out of it on the head, just to see if I can get it to loosen up or get it to, potentially break. I'm not going to abuse it, but just with normal banging it on the counter or stuff like that at the range, just to see, if they would have any issues in the hinge area. That was one of the things I was going to test on it. But I do like the way they've done the switches on the back. So that was another thing. They've got a really high switch where it's almost like a ledge, and I thought that was kind of cool, where you can change those out, because I do like being able to change out those buttons for the highs or the lows. But we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Also, someone earlier was talking about they were talking about ammo. Ranger saying I'm becoming more proficient with my FN Flex. Very little pistol, but very concealable and reliable. It's now in my carry rotation. That's cool, man. Smack the heck out of that thumbs up. I appreciate it, Unit4. Yeah, y'all smash that. That would be awesome. Never a bad thing. But earlier they were talking about, what are people stocking up on now? And like I've always said, if you can afford it, I would definitely stock up on mags, and I would stock up on ammo. I think now is a good time to do it, because as we get longer, everything could creep up as far as powders and primers and all that other stuff. So I think now would be a good time to buy ammo, just as you can afford it. I'm not trying to, oh my God, you got to buy it. I'm not being one of those people. But I would definitely recommend buying some more ammo, some more mags for guns that you have. I'm not saying run out and buy a bunch of guns that maybe you don't need, but I would definitely have ammo for the guns that you need, the rifles, 300 blackout AR, 9mm, whatever it might be. So I also did get a update. I should be getting the custom gun back within about the next 2 weeks. So pretty excited about that. So we'll do an unveiling. That's funny, Pistol P, that you say that. Yeah. Do you find yourself taking pistols to the range you shoot the best and neglecting other guns? Yes, I am guilty of that. 1000%. Especially when I'm testing them, but even after I test them and I really like them, I can't take every gun to the range. I used to do that back in the day. I would take it was obnoxious. I even had a pull cart. This is kind of a joke. I mean, it's not a joke, but it looked like a joke. I even had a pull cart that I used to wheel in there, and I would have ARs, I would have pistols. I mean, I'm talking like 8 or 10 pistols, sometimes a shotgun, an AR. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I was like, this is dumb. So don't do that. But then, I caught myself just leaving stuff in the safe. I was talking to Armsman, I think last week or something, and I was telling him I was going through the safes again, and I found 2 guns that I actually thought that I sold. I didn't even remember I had them. So that's pretty sad too. Scott is saying, hello, Scott, how are you? He was saying, think the gun I'm going to buy is probably one of the M&P 5 clones from Mac Arms. There you go. That's cool. Yeah, the M&P, 5s and stuff, or MP5s, not M&P, MP5s. They're kind of small for me. I like them. I think they're cool, but I've shot them in the past. I've never owned one, but I've shot them in the past, and I'm just kind of like, Yes, Armsman also sent me the thing about the new CZ Shadow 2 and 380. And he was kind of like, well, what the hell are they making that for? And I was like, well, in a lot of countries, they can't have a military caliber. It has to be under a 9mm. So a lot of those countries have to shoot 380s. So I think that's cool. Man, I bet that thing is super flat, but it's going to, that ammo is much more expensive than regular. So the new Ruger 9mm PCC, do they have a new one? I didn't know they had a new one out. Huh. Oh, Penn Station commercial. Yeah, that's that sandwich shop, isn't it? I've been to one before, but it's been a really long time. Oh, 10mm PCC by Ruger. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. Oh, I told Pranic. That's what it was. Pranic. Okay, I told Pranic about that. Not Armsman. Yeah, I mean that's bad when you start digging through stuff and find stuff you didn't even know that you had still. Yeah, I think that would be cool to have a Shadow 2 and 10 millimeter. That would be pretty cool. Hell, that might make me buy one. Honestly, I think that would be cool. Yeah, Unit 4, I'm starting to agree with you. I always carry my carry gun on my person, and sometimes I shoot it at the range while I'm there. I always bring an extra mag for it, whatever that gun might be at that particular time. And I'm just now bringing like two guns for comparisons and my carry gun. So I have my carry gun plus two guns that I might be testing against one another. My next rifle SPR is going to have the HLX Pro 50,000 Candela or a Wii Tool Light. The HLX Pro is nice. I've got it on one of my rifles. It's a really nice light. It's super bright. I really do like it a lot, and I recommend it. Not just because I work with Streamlight, but it's actually a great light. And I like now that they put the button on the back in case you don't want to run their little push rail thing. Yeah, you've got the button on the back now. So I've got it over on one of my 16s, and I've got my thumb right there when I see clamp it, and it's literally right there. And the rear button works great. So very, very happy with that light. Yep, that's happened too. That's happened too, Scott. I'm like, I know I've got this gun. Where the hell is it? That's like I was going through my ammo the other day because I was trying to find, and I know I have it. I have a big stash of NATO. You know, it is specifically NATO 124, and that's what I was going to break the Shadow system in with, so that way it would be NATO power factor. But I was looking through the ammo cases and looking and looking and looking, and I'm like, where in the hell is it? But I didn't want to keep looking because I have a bunch of ammo cases. So I was just like, well, I've got this 124, so I'll just shoot that. Yes, no, yeah, you can. If it came down to it, could you use FMJ for self-defense? Any legalities in it? Nope. I mean, not where I live, not at all. Yes, you could. I mean, you're going to be punching. It's going to be ripping right through somebody. It's not going to open up and things like that. But here's another thing that I've always said, and I highly recommend this. Highly recommend this. And if you catch me on the street, I'll be glad to show you. When I carry a lot of pistols, I will carry defensive ammo in the pistol. And a lot of my backup mags, I do have full metal jacket. And there's a reason behind that. If I'm out and about and something were to pop off, and I need to go through a car door easily, uh, window, windshield, things like that. That's the time I want an FMJ. So, and I've said that before. So there is a reason. I mean, I used to have a buddy that did this, and I've done it, but I'm like, I don't really see a need in it. But he would do hollow point, full metal jacket, hollow point, full metal jacket, hollow point, full metal jacket as he stacked the mags for his backup mag. And I just went to FMJ on a lot of mine. Now, a lot of my mags and sticks, they do have all defensive hollow points in them. But a lot of my backup mags are just all full metal jacket. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Matter of fact, when I used to carry 380s, I would only carry, I used to buy the hollow points back in the day for 380 for backup pistols and things like that. But then I got to where I would only run FMJs in a 380 because if they're wearing coats, things like that, I wanted that extra oomph. So every time I carried a 380, it was only an FMJ round. So that was just something I did. Let's see. Pranic is asking me, what PCs do you like, Big J? I have, I guess you could say, two PCCs. I have an American Resistance. I really like it. It runs great. Takes Glock mags. If you're going to get a PCC, I would really highly recommend one that only takes Glock mags as my recommendation because they're easy to find. If you own a Glock, you already have them, that kind of thing. A lot of compatibility there. The kinds that take like the Colt sticks and stuff like that, I'd kind of stay away from them. They're just not as well or easier to find, and sometimes they're more expensive. Those mags are because they're all harder to find. But yeah, I mean PCCs are cool. The two that I have, never had an issue with them, and both of them are Glock compatible, Glock mag compatible. I mean they run good, but if I had the option to have a center fire round versus well, I guess I should say they're both center fire rounds. But if I had the option to have a 5.56, 223, or a 300 blackout over a 9mm, that's what I would choose. Just for more, ballistic type stuff, and to reach out a little farther, of course, with 5.56, 77 grain. But nothing wrong with them. They're a lot of fun to shoot, that's for sure. Let's see here. William says, ordered a Bull EDC Pro on Monday. Can't wait to get it. Heard many good things, so I pulled the trigger, pun intended. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll really enjoy it. The only thing, and like I said, I like Bulls. I've shot them. They're nice guns. The only thing that I have an issue about Bull is the proprietary mags. I mean, that's not a deal breaker, but I'm heavily invested in 2011s. So that's why it kind of sucks, because I would have a Bull if it wasn't for that. But I would probably load up on mags while you can, because sometimes they run out a lot. They're really hard to get sometimes. So if you find them, like MBX has them a lot of the times, I would just go ahead and order them, and that way you have plenty of them, or order them from Bull just so you can get them. What barrel length? Let's see here. My heart is already set on a PCC. I don't want Glock mags. I mean, I've had the Scorpion. It's okay. I mean, it runs good. It's very, very reliable. But the only thing is, it's got the really big bolt in it. I mean, it's huge. And when it comes back, it's clunk, 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 and it's super reliable. But it has that clunk, clunk, clunk where your AR styles don't. They're super fast. You can upgrade the trigger easily in the AR styles. Like I've got the what is the name of that trigger? It's super fast. It's like a 3-pound trigger. Golly, I can't even think of it. Fire. God. Anyway, I've got that in one of them, and it's a great trigger. It's a fantastic trigger. The barrel length PCCs I have a 16-inch, and I have a short boy. No, it's not Hellfire. God dang it. I can't believe I can't. Hyperfire. Yes, AA. That's what it is. Hyperfire. It's the Hyperfire Elite. I've got multiple Hyperfire triggers. I actually really like them. Some people don't like them because they think they're too light. They're single stage triggers. But I've got their tactical Hyperfire. I've got their Elite, or whatever. It's their top of the line one. And that's a fast trigger. I really, really enjoy it. I've got that in my Lancer 380, 308. And I've got that trigger in my PCC, and I've got one in an AR. And then I've got I think it's the police model or something. It's a little heavier. I've got it in a 10.5 AR. But I really do like the Hyperfire triggers. Hello, Graybeard. How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, the gun that I have that's going to be coming back from custom shop, I'm super excited about it. I think a lot of people are really going to like it. This design that I came up with, I have never seen it done ever. So I'm excited about that, just to see how it's going to come out, because really, they have to send it out to the coating company. So it's kind of like after they do it, you don't know, because it's a certain kind of coating that I wanted done. And I've never seen one done like it. And I've never seen this gun that I'm doing. I've never seen one customized. So that's another thing I'm really excited about. I've just never, ever, ever seen anybody customize this particular gun that I'm having done. Let's see here. Hyperfire triggers for AKs is not safe. Your safety may engage, and then you have to spend another $50 on their proprietary safety. Oh, I've never ran one in an AK, so I don't know. Hello, Lynn Holt. How are you, good sir? High point. I've shot some high points in the past. Never. I mean, I haven't. Well, I'll take that back. I did own a high point. I owned the PCC, the very original first 10 round high point, and the only reason I bought it is because I bought it used for $100, and I was just going to beat the shit out of it and see if I could get it to fail. Never could get it to fail. It always worked, but you had to use their mags. They say if you use the aftermarket extended mag, it'll avoid their warranty. It took about 2 hours to take the gun apart to clean it. So I think I cleaned it one time, and the whole time I had it, I dropped that thing. I threw it in the back of the truck. It sat in the back of the truck and got rained on for, this is when I was out in the farm, in my grandparents' farm. This was forever ago. I called it a Planet of the Apes gun because it's kind of what it looked like. I mean, it was a piece of shit, but I never could get the thing to fail. Oh, yeah. No, I don't want to give it away yet, but I think it's going to be a gun that everybody is like, holy shit, you did that gun? I don't think it's going to be, a lot of people are really going to think about this particular gun. So unless you followed me for a long, long time, because I have mentioned that I wanted to get that particular one done. So if you followed me for a long time, you probably know. But I finally found a company that that can do those, because a lot of companies can't do them. Norwood is saying, Big J, have you ever shot that Smith & Wesson metal comp carry yet? No, I haven't shot it yet. I put my hands on it, played with it, but I haven't physically shot it. But, you know, to me, honestly, this is just my opinion. I think the metal Smith & Wesson is overrated. It's not that much heavier than the polymer. I mean, it's like a couple of ounces heavier, and it doesn't justify the price for me, honestly. I'm just, you know, that's just my opinion. And I like Smith & Wesson. Do not get me wrong. I like their product. They make a great product. But I just think that was a miss for me. Is that a direct mount? I don't know. You're probably talking about to someone else. The gun I'm having done will be a direct mount, if you're asking that. Let's see here. So yes, I would definitely stock up on ammo and mags. I am excited about trying the Shadow Systems. I think it's going to be a very fun pistol. You're going to get my honest opinion, feedback, good, bad, negative, whatever. Failures, you're going to see it. I'm not hiding anything. I told them that when they sent me the gun. I didn't pay for this. They sent it in the channel. I told them I was going to do long-term testing on it because this is really, and I didn't explain this in the video that I was talking about, the introductory video, but this is something I wanted to try for myself to see if this particular gun would work for me. I have very large hands. This is a very thin gun. Matter of fact, if it didn't have the comp on it, my thumbs would be almost to the end of the barrel, but with the comp, that extends it out, and I really like this built-in comp. I'm hoping that it's going to work like I expect it to work, or like I hope it will work. And I'm going to understand, and I want everybody to understand this. It's a small gun. Small guns have recoil. I am not recoil sensitive. So it's not going to shoot like my 5-inch 2011. It's not going to shoot like my 5.3-inch Staccato P with the comp. I get that. It doesn't have that kind of weight or size. So, you know, I'm hoping it's going to be less snappy than some of the smaller guns. Not that I can't shoot those, but I want to be able to carry this one easier, I guess, when I have suits and things like that on. And that was kind of the reasoning behind this, where it is much, much less noticeable. You know, so I'm going to kind of put this through some paces that maybe your average person wouldn't do, you know, such as at the events that I'm going to be doing, things like that. That's kind of what I wanted to do with this. Yep, I am. Like I've always said, the only thing that you have that you can physically own and you die with is your name. So don't mess it up. Graybeard says, I am thinking about trying a pistol dot on a Glock, but here getting a different plate than the MOS system. Any thoughts? There are other plating systems for the Glock MOS. So you could buy the Glock MOS and then put a different plate on it. There's a bunch of different options out there. There's one I would stay away from, and C&H I would not. I've had a bad luck with theirs, so I wouldn't recommend theirs. But there are other ones for the MOS that are pretty robust. So I would get one of those and get you a dot that you're happy with. I would probably start out with a larger window first, not the little tiny window, and get used to it, see what you think about it, and really give it a fair shake. And remember, when you're dot shooting, you are not looking at the dot. You're looking through the window at your target and the dot. You're just superimposing the dot on the target. Basically, you're staring at your target and letting the dot get in the way. Do not stare at your dot. That was took me a while because I was trying to be asphyxiated on that dot. And once I quit doing that, I started shooting faster, better groups, and from then now I don't even ever stare at the dot. I'm just looking at the target and the dot's getting in the way. I agree with you on that, Scott. The TTI Canic is overpriced. I definitely agree with that. I don't think that gun should be that much. Now I know why, because it's got Terran's name on it. But there you go. Hello, Mike. How are you? Everybody ring that bell. Come on, man. This guy is one of the best and honest guys on YouTube. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, and I think they are going to keep coming down. I have seen them decreasing, and I think they're going to keep coming down. I think the hype is kind of worn off of them, and I'm not saying it's a bad gun. I just think it is overpriced for what it is personally. Ooh, Pistol Pete is saying, what is your favorite caliber for a pistol round? Not necessarily the one you shoot the most, but your favorite. Man, I would have to say my favorite. If I have to pick a favorite, I would say it's a 9mm, just being honest with you. That's what I shoot the most. I really love 45 too. It's just got a special place in my heart. I grew up shooting 45, carried 45s forever. And I know 10mm is superior and all, I know all that. I'm not, I just really enjoy 45. I have a ton of 45. I'm not even joking. I probably have 7,000 rounds of 45, and that includes hollow point and FMJs. I'm just a 45 guy at heart, I guess. And I love 22. I mean, call me a FUD or whatever you want to say, but I enjoy 22 as well. Let's see here. Dennis Buckner saying, how is the holster availability for the XR 920p? You may be meaning CR 920p. I think Armsman makes one for just the regular P, the CR 920p. He is going to be making them for the CR 920 XP. So I'm excited about that as well. Hopefully I'll have one soon. That is the second thing I'm waiting on. But I mean, I'm not pressuring him or anything. I'm just saying if I that was my intention, is if this gun checks out and I feel that it's ready to carry, I am going to start carrying it. That was one of the things I wanted to do, because what I want to do is have it in a holster. And of course, I'm going to do this dry fire first. No ammo, no nothing in it, and have it in the holster. Because what I used to have problems with the smaller pistols is I would put them in the appendix and I would, check myself. I'd hit the little beeper, just dry firing at home, hit the beeper, go down and try to grab it, and rip it out real quick. And a lot of the times on the super small pistols, out of 10 grabs, and I'm not, I tell the truth, out of 10 grabs, I would miss the grip 7 out of 10 times. That's a total no-go for me because my hands are large. So I'd grab the garment, go to rip the gun, and I would miss it. And I'd be like, shit, missed the master grip because the grip was so damn small. Well, that is one thing about this grip, is it is longer. So I'm hoping I'm not going to have that problem. And there was some of them. I'm not saying I would completely miss it. I would just like get a half a finger. I mean, it was just a shit grip. I mean, I would have came out of the holster like freaking sideways or something. It was just horrible. So that's another reason that I really want to hone this in on dry fire. I really want to hone this in on, just simply ripping it out, as fast as I can to get it on target, and just doing that at home with dry fire with nothing in it. Yeah, Armsman's right. That Hollow Sun CSC for the Glock, because you don't have to have a plate for it. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. I would agree with that too. Yeah, I think that price that they put on that thing, I was like, what? You gotta be kidding me. Are you eager for the CZ Bren 3? Not necessarily. I've shot a lot of the Berens and I really like them. I would be more excited about the Bren 308 personally. But I mean, I've shot the Bren. I like them. I think they're a good option for a lot of people. Let's see here. Let me catch back up here real quick. Well, I was going to say, when you got into the real muscle cars, they weren't just decal packages. The real muscle cars. Some of the 80s they were shit for horsepower. For example, the Chevy pickup truck that came out with a 454 SS, the regular cab, two-door. That thing had 454 SS all over it, and that thing, out of the 454 block, it came with 225 horsepower. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? But I had a buddy who bought one, and we put a 400 small block in it. Not long after he got that one. Ooh, Lynn Holt. There you go. Picking up a revolver again after 30 years. It's been fun. There appears a lot of improvements made in 38 Special Plus P. Oh, I imagine there has been. Ammo has came a long way since even when I shot. Yeah, Dennis, Armsman should have that one, coming. So just keep an eye on it. And I'll try to, when he says they're available for sure, I will announce it on the chat too, because I want one as well. Rich B, yeah, so here you go. Yeah, he bought one, so those are good to go. So yeah, you'll have the P09 Nocturne. Well, that would be a good option. The Bren 3 and 300 blackout. I just have so many 300 blackouts. I just don't. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't want a Bren. It's more of a. I mean, that could be one that I take out and shoot a little bit, and then just sits in the safe again. Honestly. The little red truck. Mopar had the little red Express. Is that the one you're thinking about? The little red truck. That was the Mopar had the little red Express is what it was called. And yeah, that was a cool truck. I've got a friend of mine who has one completely restored, and it's pretty sweet. Armsman, yeah, he definitely brags about that CR920 XP. Little Red Express, I think is what it was called. Yeah. Yeah, they were cool trucks. They didn't really have a lot of horsepower either. I know, Pistol Pete, I said that. That's what I was telling Armsman. I was like, man, the Shadow 2 and the 22 LR, oh my gosh, that would be freakishly. But the bad thing, they would probably outsource it to Humarex, and it would be like one of those little plastic, aluminum sleeve 22s, which might not be bad. But man, if you had a full-size metal CZ, but the bad thing, coming from being imported, it would probably have a 10-round mag, which would suck. Did you see PewView say his favorite striker fire is the P10C? No, I didn't see that. I know PewView personally, but no, I didn't know that he said that. But I mean, the P10C is a fantastic gun. Y'all know how I feel about them. They are totally underrated. Totally underrated. Yep, the 4x4 was the Warlock. Yeah, I used to love the old square bodies and stuff. I had a square body. What year was mine? Oh, what year was that damn thing? What was this? 70, 78? Hell, I can't remember. It's been freaking forever ago. I had a blue one and then I hated the blue, so I had it painted. Yeah, a metal P10 would be cool if they did the frame correctly. If they did it the right way, that would be really badass. And I was thinking, if that's going to be one of the new guns coming out, if CZ is going to release the P10C again, I was thinking, some things they could do was make it to where the action came out of it, so you can move it from frame to frame. That would be cool, and they could have a metal option and a polymer option and different size options. I think that would be kind of cool if it was a removable fire control unit, because other guns have that. SIG didn't invent it. Steyr had it before that, etc. But I think that would be pretty damn cool. So I'm hoping they would come out with that. 78 Scottsdale, yeah. And that was a Silverado. It was a great truck. But yeah, it was blue. It was weird. It was like not a dark blue. It was kind of a light blue with a lighter blue, and then a little bit darker. It's the tri-coat and I was just like, and it was new, but I was like, God, I hate this color. Or newer. My dad bought it, and then I ended up getting it because I just told him, "You're not going to sell that truck. I want it." And then I painted it. Had it painted. I sanded it all down and had a guy that I knew paint it. And he did it in red and black, and it looked pretty badass when I got finished with it, or he got finished with it, and I redid the rest of the stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to buy it, but the Echelon comp. I mean, if I were going to buy an Echelon, I know which one I would get. I would get the comp. I mean, if you had the option between the two, I would choose the comp because I'm a comp guy. That's one thing that really got me excited about the Shadow systems. Yeah, and I agree with you, G23. I don't own any Springfields. I'm just saying if I was going to buy a gun, between the two, that's the one I would buy. What ear pro do you guys use? Pistol Pete, I have that custom, those orange ones you've seen. Those were poured to my ear. So I went in there and she squirts that crap in your ear and then does all that and then buffs it all. So I've got 2 sets of those. So they're made to my ear. So that's what I use. They work really well. And they've got a little tube in them to where it vibrates. So it dampens the sound. I can still hear people talk, not perfectly, not like electronic, but I can still hear people talk, or she'll do it with a plug to where it totally seals it off and you can't hear anything. But it has a vibrating tube. That's what she explained it to me. And they work really well. I've been using them for years now, and I really, really like them, and they're not that expensive. She travels around, like she goes to Texas Gun Experience and other gun ranges and does them, but only in Texas. But she might have counterparts in other states that do that as well. But I mean, I think they're good. They fit my ear. They're made for me only, and I think they work really well. Because the muffs, I don't really like the muffs, especially when I shoot rifles. It bugs the hell out of me because when I'm trying to get a cheek weld, it pops them off, and then you break your ear cup or you break your ear seal, and it hurts like hell. So, especially with some of the calibers I shoot. So that is why I prefer the inner ear personally. And I've got the axles that go in the ear, and they suck. I'm just being honest with you. I bought them. They didn't give them to me. I bought them on a sale, and I was like, oh, these are going to be great, and they suck. So, and now these were their older version, just so you know. It's not their newest one. Suppose their newest one is better, but I'm not going to invest any more money when I'm happy with what I have. But I also have plenty of what are those cheap electronic ones? The Walker razors. And I mean, they're great. I've got like 10 pair of those. So if I really need to dampen out everything, I'll usually use those. Or if I'm going to do a lot of talking. Yeah, that's them. The Walker Razor Slim Electronic. Yeah, they work great. Not bad. Over 30 likes so far. Yeah, y'all smashed that thing. Yeah, Pistol Pete, that's not a bad idea. I mean, just put some foamies in there and then stick your electronic over it or something. That's not a bad idea. DWX, yeah. If I bought one, it would definitely have to be the railed version. And the full size DWX is very nice. I've put my hands on it, played around with it. It's a very nice pistol. I just don't personally have any reason to have it because I have a ton of PO9 mags or P10F mags. So I would be really mag heavy for that gun. So it would be great. But I mean, there's nothing that gun won't do that one of my 2011s will do other than being way more ergonomic. And you can put lock grips on it. So that's definitely a plus over a 2011. So if you're not invested in 2011s, I would highly recommend the DWX full size. Highly recommend it. It's an awesome gun. The compact, I've put my hands on the compact, just the regular one, not the railed one and optic ready one or whatever. I don't think they even have an optic ready one. But I still like the Shadow 2 compact over the DWX compact, just in my opinion. Again, I don't need any more single action guns. And I do like the double action, single action too. Because I kind of like to have a variety of double action, single action, striker fire, things like that. So, I think for what you get, honestly think for what you get, CZ makes them pretty affordable for what you're getting. I mean, because you get into 2011, good 2011, you're going to spend some cash. So I think in the price point CZ is, it's not too far off. Now the DWX line is more expensive, of course, because it's Dan Wesson. Oh, okay, both do now, and the optic cut, so that's cool. I knew they had the rail and non-rail. I just didn't know if they had optic and non-optic. DWX 10 millimeter might be kind of cool too. Tiger 9C Pro into a 40 Smith & Wesson with a comp and a Holosun 507C X2. That's cool. That's the dot, the 507C X2. That's the dot that I have on the Shadow 2 compact. So, and it seems to be working really well. Yeah, compared to other guns, like what Armsman's saying, compared to other manufacturers, I don't think CZ's way too far off. Now, of course, here's what happens. They come out with their MSRP. And if it's a new gun, everybody jacks up their price like they did on the Shadow 2 compact. People are selling for like $1,700, $1,800 when they were MSRP for $1,299. But for what you're getting out of it, I think it's worth $1,299. If you could find it cheaper, that'd be great. And I have seen the compact Shadow 2 compacts going for cheaper. Not much cheaper, but I've seen them for like $11.50, $11.99, stuff like that. Yeah, and I like the Bruin. I do like that one. The only thing is it doesn't come optic ready. But no, that's a really cool gun. First pistol with a red dot. What are you thinking about a G23? You shot it a lot yet? You liking it? But yeah, I'm excited about shooting the Shadow Systems CR920 XP. I think that's going to be a fun gun. Just want to see how I can handle it. Not that I'm worried about recoil or anything like that. I'm just wondering how well it's going to fit in my hand, while I'm shooting it. When I've been dry firing it, playing around with it. The trigger's not that great. I would say it's better than a stock Glock, but it's not like a whiz bang trigger. It's not like a 2-pound trigger. It's not like a 3-pound trigger. I would never compare it to that. Stock for stock, the P10C has a better trigger than the Shadow Systems stock trigger. I could tell you that if you're trying to compare it to something. I don't think it's a horrible trigger. It's just if I would have one complaint, or really not a bad complaint, and I don't know how it's going to be during the live fire, it could be even better. But during dry fire, the trigger is not that great on the Shadow Systems CR920XP. But I'm also a trigger snob. I'm just going to flat out admit it. I don't like a 6-pound trigger. I don't think this one's a 6-pound trigger, and I haven't checked it on the trigger gauge. I've got a trigger gauge, so I can check it. But what I wanted to do before I even checked it is break it in. I wanted to shoot it, things like that. So I might check it before I shoot it, just to note it down and say, here's what it was before, and then check it after, just to see if it's decreased or if it stayed the same. It's probably something I'll do. I'm taking to the range this weekend, just finished it up last night. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Norwood is saying, you're the only channel I can watch that doesn't talk about Glock. I love this channel. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I mean, I have a couple of Glocks that I like, but I'm not a Glock channel. So, and this, the Shadow System's kind of a Glock type or clone, if that's what you want to say. Yeah, you would think for the Shadow Systems Elite, which is their top of the line, more expensive models, you would think that they would have an upgraded trigger in those. But like I said, I'm not hating on them. And they might do it for a safety factor, like you and I were talking about. That could be a possibility. P10C comp, yeah, I mean, that would be cool. Like, I even thought about taking my P10F and having it comped, like having a port cut in it. But I do have a comp on my P10C. It's an external comp, but I do have it on one of my P10Cs, and it works a little bit. It's not the best comp, like I've said before. It's a primary machine comp, and it's not completely cut exactly like I think it should be, but that was one of their earlier ones. I don't know if they've changed it, and it does help. I just don't think it gives you the maximum that it should out of it. I'm considering picking up some 20-round staccato mags, gently used. They look in good shape. I know they are not competition type. I don't know, thinking I may wait for some sales. If somebody has a good price on them, gently used, I would buy them because they're going to be the version 2s. So I would buy them if you can get a good price on them. Because one thing, the springs are cheap. You can buy Atlas springs to put in them. They're not that expensive. If you think the springs are worn or anything like that, I've put additional springs in mine just because I shoot them so much. And it's not that they were failing. I just thought it was time. But if you could find them for a good price, I'd buy them. Yeah, I have comps on my 22s too. Y'all have seen them. I've had people make fun of me. I don't give two shits what people say. Y'all know that about me. But if I can squeeze any little extra benefit out of something, I'm gonna try to do it. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, when you're in a, not that I would be in a gunfight with a 22, but I mean, if you're in a situation, there's no rules. I want every benefit I can get. Norwood is saying, I mean, all day some channels talk Glock, Panic. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them out there. And I mean, that's what they like. So there's nothing wrong with that. What dot would you put on the CZ Nocturne? If it were me, matter of fact, Armsman and I were talking about this. It has the RMSC K footprint. What I would put on that is I would put the EPS full size. That's what I would put. The Holosun EPS full size, not the carry. Carry is going to be a little narrower and a little shorter. It's going to be the same footprint. It's going to be probably just a tad hanging off on the edges. But for that size gun, that's what I would put on it. Hello, Trigger Bar. How are you, sir? Hope you are doing well. Yeah, Armsman saying EPS. I would put, and he didn't say carry. He said the full size EPS. So that's what I would put on it too. It's going to give you the biggest window you can get for that footprint, I believe. And I think it just fits that gun, the compact or the full size. I think the EPS full size would be the one for the Nocturne, personally. But like I said, you could just have just a tad on each side that it's hanging over, but that would not bother me at all. And hell, even on my P10C, now it's milled lower, but I've got the RMR footprint on mine. So, and I've got a full size on mine. What do I have on mine? Oh, I've got that big box optic, but I've had the Hollow Sun on it, the 507C on it before, and I like it. So, but yeah, I've got the Acro type on there now. Let's see here. But yeah, I am going to be getting one more thing for the Shadow Systems this Friday. I've got the tracking on it, so I'll have that part in. And like I said, when I do the shooting on it to break it in, if I don't have that part yet, I'm not worried about that. And then later on, I'll get the holster from Armsman, for it. So I'll be excited about that. We've already talked about it, and we've got a little plan for it. I think it'll be cool. Well, on the Ranger, that's a Delta Point Pro footprint, so it wouldn't fit on. Well, it would with the plate, but I wouldn't put that on the Nocturne because it's such a wide or such a narrow slide. Ooh, man. How many pistol rounds estimate do you shoot per year? I shoot less than I used to when I was doing a lot of competition stuff or doing competition stuff, but I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to add that up. I guess what would it be? I'll just try to figure out an estimate here. I would say on the easy side, I would say 6,000 to 7,500 a year, maybe. I was averaging 10,000 when I was doing competitions and stuff, but I haven't done those in quite a while. So that's a pretty good guesstimation. Pretty close, and that's not a brag. I'm just saying that's what I shoot. I know people shoot way more than me. Yeah, and you know what's funny, and I don't want to hate on anybody. Yeah, I think the 507 comp is pretty cool. Also, I'm liking that Vortex, that big Vortex. I think it's the Vortex XL. I looked at it and I'm like, that looks pretty good. I mean, the glass looks nice. I haven't shot one yet, but I was actually kind of impressed with that. Yeah, and Pistol Pete, I was even shooting more, when I would go on Saturdays also and shoot. But since I've been, taking care of my dad and stuff on the weekends, that has cut back. So I'm pretty good on my average that I said. Let's see here. Waiting for a PO1 optic ready. Yeah, I don't know if they're ever going to do a PO. I don't think they're going to redo the PO1. I don't see that happening since they have the Shadow 2 compact. I really don't think that's going to happen. And I mean, like I said, I'm just being honest, for the benefit that you're getting out of the Shadow 2 for the frame, that's a big, big plus for me over the PO1. Not that I don't like the PO1. I'm just saying for the trigger, for the frame setup, the beaver tail, the rail, everything, I would choose the Shadow 2 over the PO1 all day long. I know it's more expensive, but if you get an optic ready PO1, if they ever did that, you're probably talking CZ Shadow 2 money, probably. But they would have to do a lot of upgrades on that PO1 to make it like the Shadow 2 compact, just in the trigger group alone. Because it's got the damn hook trigger. So they would need to change that trigger shoe out for sure, at least. And I know they won't. Damn, I should have got extra shots. I should have filled that one up higher. That was tasting pretty damn good. Um, Also, real quick, I will be going to SEMA. I have to, unfortunately. Um, I've got a couple of deals there, receptions that I'm putting on or that we're putting on. So one of them is going to be on Wednesday night. Of course, we're dealing with a 2 hour time zone difference. So I probably will not be able to do a chat that week. I think it's like November 5th or something, 6th. So, or excuse me, yeah, I think it's the 6th. So I know I might go live. I might just go live in my hotel room from my phone or something, but I'm not going to have I'm not taking the big computer and webcam and all that stuff like I usually do when I travel. So I might just go live from my phone. But we will, and it's probably going to be later because I'll be in that 2 hour time difference. But I'll either maybe try earlier or later. I'll try, but I can't promise it. I'm just letting you know that week. Yes, Cajun Gunworks does make a PO1 better, but I'm just saying if you're waiting on the PO1 to come out with an optic ready to buy that gun, I wouldn't do that. If you have a PO1, yeah, I would send it in and get it done. Thanks, Ranger 10. I appreciate you, brother. Always a great time. I'm glad you're on too. Yeah, Colt will nix that. Yeah, I'm sure they will. Well, that's good. I mean, hell, it should be. But, the only thing that I keep thinking on the PO1 why they won't do the PO1 is because a lot of the Czech military and a lot of the Czech, service and all that, they use the PO1 quite a bit because it's NATO approved. And I'm not saying they're not optic ready people over there. I just, and they could be, but I'm just saying, I think if anything, they'll probably keep both, maybe an optic ready version and a non optic ready. Because, and everybody I think will agree with me, the sights on a PO1, the stock sights completely suck. I'm not saying they're not shootable, but with vision like mine, they're completely obsolete for me. So I would definitely have to have it optic ready for me. But yeah, like I said, I will go shoot the Shadow Systems this weekend for sure because I'm super excited about it. I want to really, break it in, put the rounds through it, see what it's going to do, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. I'm sure it's going to have some sort of break in because, man, the barrel on that thing, the lockup, when you rack it, it is super, super tight. And they claim to have match barrels. So, and I've shot other match type pistols. And even like a PPM, performance barrel for Glocks, they can be really tight. So sometimes you will have to have break-in with those as well. And some comp guns, you will have to have break-in with those. So this is not out of the ordinary, but hopefully it goes smoothly, but you're going to see it, good and bad, whatever the different way is. So yeah, I don't think they're going to update the PO1 either. I think that'll be, if they do, it'll be the very last gun they do. Floridian is saying best way to get over the hump. Live with Big J. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It is fun. I'm glad that I always picked Wednesday because it kind of breaks up the week and, of course, hump day. Mike. So always fun to do that. But anyway, yeah, it's about 8:18 or 8:13. I'm sorry, I can't see the damn clock. 8:13. So if y'all want to go a little bit longer, we can, or if y'all want to shut it down, that's perfectly fine too. That's funny that he says that. I take the Shadow 2 Compact over a PO1. Yeah, Pranic actually owns a PO1, so he had a good comparison because he owns the PO1, so you did get to do that. The Camel was awesome. Yeah, I love that one. That's a great commercial. Every time I see that, I think of Big Mike, and y'all know who I'm talking about. Big Mike O. Oh yeah, shit. PO1 is super accurate. It's a great gun. I would never knock that gun. It just doesn't work great for me. Yeah, those luminescent sights, I always thought they were a gimmick. They weren't the first ones to come out with it. Hell, HK had them. There was a bunch of them that had them, and I always was like, nah, it's cheesy as shit. So I always always was like, yeah, whatever. Yep, Mike, I called you. Rich B is saying I need to find an outdoor range. I went to my indoor range today, and my left was a guy blasting on a shotgun. To the right was another guy blasting on a shotgun. I could feel my insides moving. Yeah, I mean, hell, one of the videos that I put out, I think it was what was it? It was the Shadow 2 compact versus the Glock. You'll see I'm talking in one of the videos. I just film a bunch of them and stick them all together. But I'm shooting and I'm kind of talking fast. And I was trying to blast through that. And at the very end of the video, you can hear what's about to go off. And they brought the 50 cal in there and set it on the floor. And you can hear people talking. And I mean, I'm finishing my groups and I'm like, hello, an unarmed nation's a very weak nation. All of a sudden you hear boom. He sent off that 50 cal. So, but yeah, so it's definitely loud when they bring that sucker in. Yeah, and a lot of people have been sighting in their guns. That's what was happening last weekend, so it could be this weekend too. But I do have that new mic, and I'm really actually enjoying it. It's working really well. I will, I'm still testing it, but I'll go ahead and let you all know what it is or show you here. It's called the Hollyland, if you can see it very well. It's called the Hollyland, and it's the Lark M2. And it's got the little right here. These are the microphones. It comes with 2 of them, and you can hang them from your neck, or they have magnets. And then these plug in to your phone here, these 2. And then there's one for your camera right there. And I'm actually really liking this. Trigger Bar had it and turned me on to it, so I bought it. And so far, I actually really like it. My indoor range is usually okay, but it has been pretty concerning as of recent. I think a lot of newbies, yeah. And that is one thing that I do appreciate, that I can go into the VIP area, or that I do go into the VIP there at Texas Gun Experience, because you kind of have your own little range. It's not, you have, I think there's six or 7 bays. They're 50-yard bays. So, I mean, you can still get guys in there shooting really loud guns and stuff. That's not a big deal. But I tend to watch in there, and a lot of people really know what they're doing. I haven't seen too much crazy stuff. When I go in the other part of the range, that's where you have to be a little more skeptical. So, but yes, I would prefer an outdoor range. And, as it gets cooler and stuff, I might actually go out to ETTS and Waxahachie and shoot out there, where you have your own private bay. You can do what you want. So I might start going out there. But like I said, it's about an hour and 20 minutes or so from my house one way. So, I would take a good amount of guns and go out there and, spend a day, make it worth my while. But it's just so much easier just to go into Texas Gun Experience and knock out what I've got to knock out. Because sometimes I am limited for time. But I do plan on going out to the outdoor range. I mean, like Trigger Bar, he's got a great setup where he's able to go to. Yeah, there's still a range. I mean, I've been out there before. I've done their long range stuff, and it's a great place. Yeah, shooting steel is fun. And I've shot competition matches out there before. I mean, it's a really cool place. I really enjoy it. And it's not that expensive, to go out there. But like I said, the VIP area at Texas Gun Experience, I really like it. I like the people there. It's always a really good time. And I get to go through there and see if they have any cool guns or used guns or anything that's exciting, and get some little, tidbits of like what's selling, what's not selling, what's popular, what's not popular. So I always like to go in and visit with those guys too. It is a fun time. Uh-oh. I did have a great place, past tense. Can't wait to share what the libtards did. Oh, crap. That's not good. Let's see here. G19 modified cheap or CZ-P10C modified for more? I mean, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I've tried aftermarket CZ triggers for the P10. I like the stock trigger. I mean, a good worn-in stock trigger. I think they're great. Other than that, you'd be putting an optic or milling it, either one of them, just so to say. And I mean, you're dealing with the same amount of accessories. I mean, I think you could, I think they're pretty even. But I think you could also get the P10C cheaper to start with. So there's that. Pranic says VIP at Texas Gun Experience is awesome too. Best indoor I've been to. Yeah, he went. I forgot, or I didn't forget, but yeah, he went and checked it out. Yeah, we had a good time that day. Trigger bar. Oh, he's talking trigger bar. Use my big J code. Sweet. Thank you. I mean, like I said, I don't make anything off of it. I'm not worried about that, but I'm glad, it's helping y'all out and helping Armsman out. I mean, always good to have a lot of my subscribers go over there and purchase his holsters. And if you are interested in a great holster, Armsman has them, light bearing, non-light bearing, and you can use the code. It's BJGG10, all capitalized, and that'll get you 10% off the order and free shipping, for my subscribers. So he put that out there, and I think it's a really good code for y'all to have. Save you some moolah. But yeah, I'll be excited about getting the Shadow Systems holster from him and testing that thing out. Like I said, I want to do a lot of dry fire with the gun, see if I can get that master grip, see if I feel comfortable with it. I mean, this is honestly, this is a true experience for me with a thin gun, because all the thin guns I've used in the past, like I said, I was being honest. I have a very love-hate relationship with them. And I'm thinking this could be the one. Could be. I don't know that yet. But this could be the one that might work pretty well for me. And that's why I want to test it, put the time in, and see honestly what I think about it. So, but it is 8:21. If y'all don't have anything else, and if you do, after the chat, feel free to drop a question in there, and I'll get back to it after this. Looking forward to some great comments. Looking forward to the thumbs up, all that good stuff. Hopefully YouTube doesn't demonetize the chat. I actually thought about having a gun sitting right here. I was going to put a little pedestal on the desk and have one sitting there. I wasn't going to touch it, but I was going to have one sitting there. But then I thought, they see that, they're going to freak out. So even though I wouldn't touch it, but I actually thought about it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to put one there, so just to kind of highlight, have the light shining on one, like the gun of the evening. I think that would be fun. But anyway, it's on his website. Rich, if you go to my last video, I've got it pinned in the comment. You can go, you can click it, and his link, his email is on his website. You need to have guns floating. Yeah, and I've thought about hanging them up on the wall back here and stuff, but they would be too high. So that's why I just thought about setting one right here, kind of like it was floating. But yeah, so this was a lot of fun. It's always a great time to talk to the family members out there and see how y'all are doing. And like I pretty much say, if you haven't talked to someone in a long time, please reach out to them. Let them know you're thinking about them. It's always good to check on people. And everybody in Florida, please be careful. Look out for your family and, potential issues. Plan accordingly. Have everything you need. And hopefully everybody makes this out through this mess that they're having there and safely. And, call your parents, call your brothers, sisters, all that good stuff. Tell them you love them, that you hadn't talked to them in a while. Family is what makes all this go around. So they have a mind of their own, Big J, I like that CZ plaque you got. Yep, that's the only one in existence. It stands CZ Mafia for life. I've had that one. I've had that plaque for 5 years. It was made by somebody, a friend, so I decided to go ahead and hang it up there. I've never lost my love for CZs. They're fantastic guns. A lot of people think that I hated them because I was going to 2011s, and it's like, no, I don't hate CZs. I actually really like them. So it's just, that circle where we try different things. I never got rid of the CZs that I love. I did get rid of some CZs. But yeah, I won't get rid of the ones I love. But I appreciate y'all, everyone. Y'all be safe out there. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful evening.